Today's question is: how do flowers reproduce through pollination? Pollination is one of the most important natural processes in the life cycle of flowering plants. It is a key step in plant reproduction and plays a major role in the survival of many plant species, as well as the production of the fruits and seeds we eat. Without pollination, many plants would not be able to produce the next generation, and life on Earth would be very different. What is pollination? Pollination is the transfer of pollen from the male part of a flower, called the anther, to the female part of the flower, called the stigma. This process allows fertilization to take place, which leads to the formation of seeds. The pollen contains the male reproductive cells of the plant, while the stigma is part of the pistil, which houses the female reproductive organs. Pollination can occur within the same flower, between flowers on the same plant, or between flowers on different plants of the same species. Once the pollen grain lands on a compatible stigma, it travels down a tube to reach the ovary, where fertilization happens. There are two main types of pollination. The first one is self-pollination. This occurs when pollen from a flower's own anther is transferred to its own stigma or to another flower on the same plant. It is a simpler and faster form of pollination. However, it may reduce genetic variation since the offspring come from the same plant. The second one is cross-pollination. This happens when pollen is transferred from the anther of one plant to the stigma of a flower on another plant of the same species. Cross-pollination encourages diversity and stronger offspring because it combines genes from two different plants. It usually requires the help of pollinators like insects or environmental factors like wind. Pollination does not always happen on its own. It often depends on pollinators. These are the living or non-living agents that help carry pollen from one flower to another. Here are the main types of pollinators. Number 1. Insects. Bees, butterflies, beetles, and even ants are common insect pollinators. Bees are especially important because they visit many flowers to collect nectar and pollen. As they move, pollen sticks to their bodies and gets transferred from flower to flower. Number 2. Birds. In some tropical regions, birds like hummingbirds are major pollinators. They are attracted to bright-colored flowers and feed on nectar while helping with pollination. Number 3. Bats. In some areas, especially where night-blooming flowers are common, bats play a crucial role in pollinating flowers. Number 4. Wind. Plants like grasses, corn, and trees such as pine and oak rely on the wind to to carry pollen from one plant to another. And number 5, water. In rare cases, some aquatic plants use water to transfer pollen, although this is not very common. The importance of pollination. Pollination is vital for the survival of flowering plants. It is through pollination that plants are able to reproduce and create seeds that grow into new plants. But pollination is not only important for plants, it is essential for humans and other animals too. For food production, many fruits, vegetables, and nuts are the result of pollinated flowers. Without pollination, we would lose important food sources like apples, tomatoes, cucumbers, mangoes, and more. For biodiversity, pollination helps plants evolve and adapt by increasing genetic variation. For ecosystems, pollination supports the growth of plants that provide shelter and food to other organisms in the environment. Threats to pollination. Unfortunately, pollination is at risk due to human activities. Pesticide use, habitat loss, and climate change are harming pollinators like bees and butterflies. If pollinators disappear, it would be much harder for many plants to reproduce, and our food supply would be affected. That is why it is important to protect pollinators by planting native flowers, reducing pesticide use, and creating safe spaces for these helpful creatures. Pollination is a fascinating and essential process that keeps our world green, blooming, and full of life. By understanding how pollination works and why it matters, we can learn to appreciate the natural world more and take steps to protect it. Every time you see a bee buzzing around a flower, remember that it's doing important work, not just for the plant, but for all of us.